Chaos Blur.
Alright, what is up, everybody? This is Bobby Gaines, otherwise known as Chaos Blur, and we are tuning in right now for the last stream of February, 20 February, so first 2 months of the year in the books now, and we are taking a look at the Wii U Classic, if you can call it a Wii U Classic, but you're playing Sonic 2, well, I'm playing Sonic Lost World right here, and funny enough with this game, and then there's a couple games like this, but this game is, I don't know where the Curry is. Why would I have Curry for a Sonic game? But it's one of the few that I know of that can only be played on the Wii U tablet, which sounds fine enough, but this tablet doesn't last a really long time, so anyway, I also think this game is very underrated. It's kind of like nobody really talks about Sonic Lost World one way or the other. It's a game that came out between Generations and Forces. Of course, everyone loves Generations. A lot of people don't like Forces for many reasons. Mania was beloved, etc., etc. And then you just kind of like have this game just sitting there and like, this came out. Like, this was 2013. It came out a couple years after Generations, and it was a brand new game. I mean, yeah, we're going to see in the beginning here, there's a couple Green Hill references, but for the most part, this is a brand new game. It has a different control scheme, which I feel like that's the only reason why people didn't like it as much. I feel like if this were a boost game like Unleashed or Generations, people would like love this, but to me, I really like this game. I know some of the complaints, you know, it kind of feels like a Mario game. It's got like some influences of Galaxy, but I mean, it's also its own thing. Forces wasn't groundbreaking, but no, well, okay, that's fair. Also, welcome to the stream, Big Mac. But my point is, like, people have an opinion on almost every Sonic game. Sonic Lost World is just there. It actually didn't get very good reviews, I think, but again, it's not considered a train wreck. It's not considered a masterpiece, but to me, it did a lot that the series has not done before or since. I'm not saying that it did everything right, but I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff you can do in this game that you can't do in other games. To the point where the control scheme actually feels kind of weird if you haven't done it in a while. There actually is a spin dash in this game, which sounds weird to say, but the spin dash is not really in a lot of 3D Sonic games anymore. It's like a super secret unlockable in Frontiers, and it's like here and there in other games, but to me, this was actually a fairly good attempt to bring Sonic to 3D, but make it feel more like the classic games, as I almost die there. And, oh, hold on, we still good. Little tricks you can pull off like that. I don't know if I was supposed to pull that trick off, but yeah, Forces was one of those games that just was there. And it's not even about it not being groundbreaking. To me, it just feels lazy. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but Sonic Forces is on a lot of people's like bottom Sonic game list, and I don't know what I would say about that, but I know Rem would say more chicken. But even like this is how they handled alternate pathways. You have a lot of these areas like, oh, you want to go this way, you want to go this way, and I mean, this is where kind of the Super Mario Galaxy stuff comes into play. I'm actually going to do something I almost never do here. I'm going to use the Wisps, which I can see why these are probably the weakest part of the game. Sonic Colors, they were a lot of fun, but speaking of Sonic, actually a pretty good time as we get ready to wrap up the first level here in Sonic Lost World. Let's say hello to Sonic. Yeah, that's just my take on Sonic Lost World. Anyway, let's see here. We get the little blue fellow over here. What's going on, everybody? YOLO, I'm Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. Yo, man, when are you going to finally play a Sonic game? Wait, that's me on TV. Yes, that is you. That is you on the TV. See? Playing a Sonic game. I'll be damned. You're finally playing a Sonic game. That's what I said. It's Super Sonic Saturday. And I do enjoy Sega. I enjoy Sega as well. But that's me. Yes, we know. That's you on the TV. Why'd you play Sonic Lost World, though? What's wrong with Sonic Lost World? I mean, like, nobody really, like, thinks about it. It's not really highly rated, like, you know, Sonic Mania. It's not really thought of in any bad way, like Sonic 06. But that's what I was saying before. Well, you didn't mention Sonic 06. What do you mean I didn't mention Sonic 06? I didn't mention Sonic 06. Were you listening to the whole stream? I mean, I'm sitting there on your desk the whole time. Of course I am. Alright, fine. Gotta go. Ree! Guys ever notice that Sonic has pretty much the same voice as me? That's kind of weird, right? Alright, on to Act 2. Yes, I mean, much like Sonic Colors, which also had similar level design at times, this is not like the longest game. You know, it's like 4 or 5 acts per level. Chemical Plant... Wow, an actual Sonic question. I like that. I think you mean Emerald Hill Zone, but either way, I'm going to go Chemical Plant Zone. That's a great level. I'm not like, I could actually see if they always spammed Chemical Plant Zone, and they do love spamming Chemical Plant Zone. I still don't think all these levels need to be spammed as often, but... like, that's my problem. It's Sega just relies on the same, like, 2 or 3 levels over and over again. But yes, Chemical Plant Zone's a great stage. I like Green Hill Zone or Emerald Hill Zone, whatever level you're trying to say. I think he's playing Sonic too, so that's probably why. Actually, I prefer Emerald Hill Zone to Green Hill Zone, honestly, even though they're basically the same level. Maybe because that's my Green Hill Zone. The first Sonic level I ever played was Emerald Hill Zone on Sega Genesis. Now this is a weird one. This is a very short, like, 2D level here. I do notice that you have the same voice as Sonic. Yeah, I don't know why that is. Maybe Sonic impersonated me first. There actually are red rings to get in this game, and looks like I have all 5 in this level. I was gonna say, if you get all the red rings in every single level, you get Super Sonic. Yay! Clearly, I've never done it because I've never played a Super Sonic in Lost World. I also don't play this game that often anymore. Ow. Actually, this game kind of had a version of the drop dash. This was before the drop dash was an official thing, but yeah. This game did have a drop dash if you hit the spin dash button in the air. The bosses were, for the most part, very easy, as we're about to see here. So I still got hit by him. Oh no, I'm dead! As I just got killed. Bosses are super easy, as I just got killed by one there. Well, I've only got 56 lives left. What do you want out of me? Like I said, if you're used to playing, like, you know, the modern Sonic games like Sonic Forces and Generations, this game will feel a little odd control-wise, and, you know, obviously I play those games more often in this game. It's not even that it's slower. People are like, oh, this game is so slow. It's like, yeah, it's a little slower, but also, like, Generations was, like, Mach speed all the time, so yeah, it's gonna feel slower. I'm actually okay that they didn't do that this time. They actually kind of, like, fully realized the level design. And yeah, there's some speed sections in this game, but that's not really what the game's about. Because to me, that's not what every classic Sonic game was about. Now, it's funny, Toaster mentioned you playing Sonic 2. I think Sonic 2 was the first game to really embrace that. You know, just full-on, straightaways, giant speed, whatever. Which is great, but I mean, like, I think we can all agree Sega went a little too over the top with it at times, you know. Just making entire levels where you're just blasting forward as fast as you can. Yeah, it's cool in spectacle, but I actually appreciate this game for being not even, like, you don't explore that much, but it's still slower paced. But it's not like, people act like it's like a Mario game where you're barely moving in platforming. It's like, not really. Oh, we got an item. That's pretty cool. That's right, these are little items you can keep in your inventory. In fact, I'll activate that one right now. expect it to let me, and maybe I have to be in the level to activate it. Maybe that's why I need the stupid tablet. So that was Act 2. Another thing I liked about this game is that every act was a little different, sometimes. Every act was always sometimes a little different, but, like, this is Act 3. Now we're, like, in an underground setting. Go ahead and activate this shield I just got. This is still part of the game. This is still part of level 1 or whatever. But every level would usually divert from its main theme for at least one part of it. Why is Yoshi in there? There is a Yoshi level in the Sonic game. You likely saw that. There were a few DLC levels, actually Zelda as well. There's a Zelda level, a Yoshi level, and Nights into Dreams. Now, Nights into Dreams makes sense, because that's another Sega property. The other two I couldn't begin to tell you, other than the fact that this was a Nintendo exclusive. In fact, it still is. They reported this game. This is a Nintendo exclusive Sonic game, as in it was only on the Wii U. It wasn't on PS4 or anything else at that time. I don't know what the hell I just did there. Somehow I ended up over here. They also had this weird thing with the homing attack, where instead of hitting the button multiple times, it would just lock on to, like, everybody, and you could do multiple homing attacks. I actually didn't even know that until a while after playing the game. Yeah, obviously, this is not as fast as, like, a Generations or Forces or any of that, but you know what? I'm okay with it. It feels kind of more like a classic Sonic game, but in 3D, which I think is what they were going for. There are some different moves in here that aren't in other games, like the parkour system. They brought back the Wisps, as you can see, and they don't always make a lot of sense. They're very situational, like right here, using it to get past that. And again, I mean, I could sit here and describe the game, but you guys can see, so. You don't have to use the Wisps. There's like maybe 2 or 3 times where you have to. Like, I just collected that one. I'm not even using it. I could if I wanted to. But, yeah. But only with... Oh, the Lightspeed Dash, right? Although here it's even faster, though. Like, I can just do that. And now it just gets all of them. But it's like, do I really need that? Like, was I too lazy to, like, just do that myself? See, I like there's like a lot of alternate routes in these levels, which is something I feel like people don't really notice or appreciate, maybe because they only play this game once and then move on, but it's like, I could play this level 3 or 4 times and probably not see the whole level. Like, there's a bunch of little shortcuts you can take, there's underground parts, we're already underground. So yeah, you can go underground the underground. This is only like one of the levels like this. There's a few tunnel levels in this game. A little tunnel vision, if you will. Ooh, watch out. Game is a little bit on the more, I don't want to say difficult, but for a later 3D Sonic game, because I feel like they kind of dumbed down some Sonic games, but this game I thought was not difficult, but definitely one where you kind of have to pay attention to what you're doing. You can't just blast through the levels. So I respect it for that. I mean, again, multi-homing attack is up. I reread that. Yeah, you know, here we go. Not a very long game, which also, I mean, that's a valid complaint, but that's also not exclusive to this game. This was 2013. This was like an era where it seemed like Sega was obsessed with making these like 2 to 5 hour Sonic games. Like, you can beat this game pretty quick. I don't know the exact time, but to offset that, they kind of have more replayability, whether it's in time trials or trying to collect everything. So yeah, it's a short campaign. You know, probably like 20-ish levels or whatever. It depends on how good you are at the levels, but oh, I might die here. Nope. The levels are also fairly inconsistent with length. Like, that 2D one was very short. This one's a little bit longer, and so on. But again, I really like the level design here. I like kind of the tubular going around and stuff. And yeah, I'm not saying I want them to do this every game, but I didn't think this was a bad idea. Like, I don't think this was like something they should have thrown out. Like, I doubt we ever get a game like this again, but I would not hate it if we did. It kind of reminds me of Sonic Adventure. The controls are very smooth, and again, not as fast, but you can use the spin dash to get some pretty good speed when it calls for it. Which I think the lack of speed, or the whatever, not lack of speed, but the lower speed allowed them to make more creative obstacles, in my opinion. You know, there's only so much you can do with the boost formula. You know what? Jump over a thing, go under a thing, jump over a thing. You know, you do a lot of that here too, but there are some little kind of gravity gimmicks and different things that I don't think would really work in a boost game. You know, kind of going back, going under things, exploring these little flower things that go up and down. Again, I mean, could you do it in a boost game? Probably, but I feel like the game was made for the control scheme that it is, like, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying it's a great control scheme, but it doesn't feel unfinished. It doesn't feel like they didn't think it through. It feels like they wanted this kind of game, and they did it, and it plays very well. I want to give the game credit where it's due. I can understand where it's not everybody's thing, but for what it is, it doesn't feel like one of those ideas they just cranked out of nowhere. Like, it feels like they were like, this is the kind of game we want to make. You know, it's not reinventing the wheel, but it's also... Actually, I kind of like that it's going back to basics, which is probably the nicest thing I can say about it, because the old Sonic games are fun. And this was a fun game for me. I mean, I used to play this game all the time when it first came out. The only reason I don't play it so much now is because it's on Wii U, and I don't play my Wii U all that often. I probably should, because there's some really cool Wii U games. This one did not get ported to Switch, did not get ported to anything else. Never got a remake, probably never will, because like I said, it's not really beloved, it's not hated, it's just there. It's just there, and it's a game that I revisit once in a while. I want to say it's been on Retromania a couple times, you know. It's like a 12-year-old game now, almost 13 years old, so that could be it too. This level appears in Smash Brothers, I believe, although this level is basically just Green Hill Zone. After this, the levels start to look different. They have these enemies called, I think, like the Insidious Six or the Sinister Six. They're not the most creative villains, if I'm being honest, but this purple guy here named Zaz is one that seems to get referenced a lot in future games. Other than that, you would never know these guys existed. Him and Zavok. Zavok's like the leader. They're basically like the evil Power Rangers. Like, they each have like a different color and trope to them. And then they're the villains in the game, along with Dr. Robotnik, and, you know, it's not a great plot, I'm not going to lie, but that's not really why I play the game, for plots. Lots of everybody, alright, fine, whatever, but... You know, every world would end with you fighting one of these guys, and then, you know, you'd fight some other stuff, and... You know, like I said, nothing amazing. His attack was only to throw this little thing at you or whatever. Basically. He was the most basic one. That's why he's the first boss. That's why I don't know why people even like... He's in Sonic Crossroads. Like, he's considered like a mainstay Sonic character. He's only in this one game. I don't know, the tubular being all levels seems very odd to me. Or somewhat. It's not every level. I know what you're saying, though. But, it both is and isn't. We'll see a little bit more of that. But yeah, I can see that. Actually, the next level, I believe the next level is, yeah, Desert Ruins Act 1. One of my favorite levels in the game. They're not all like that. Some of them are big open fields. Some of them are contained. Some of them are, in fact, you can even tell by the map there. They're, you know, those little tubes or whatever. I was missing a lot of red rings there. I guess I can make an effort to find the red rings if I'm going to go through replaying this whole game again anyway. Or at least parts of it. So this is Desert Ruins Act 1, and I do enjoy this level. This level's got a pretty good length. It's got a lot of time to open it up with the spin dash. Good music. Plus, I love how you can just, well, I just missed it there, but you can just, like, plow through these enemies, like, again, just fun. Fun stuff. This is not a tube, as you can see, very wide open. I feel like no matter what, like, anyone's opinion on a Sonic game is, they almost all have really good music. This was no exception here. Oh, these little guys here. I like that a lot of the enemies are actually kind of like, not holdovers, but they're like returning enemies from classic Sonic games, like these little guys here with the lasers on their back. You can take the higher path here if you just kind of stay above. See, I don't know. Oh, you can climb on there. Okay, that's pretty cool. Sonic also has that little kick where instead of homing attacking like one, you can... What was I going to say? You can like kick one into the other one. It's kind of like a little bowling maneuver. This is still a... I mean, I guess technically everything's a tube and wider. I mean, I'm not saying it's like the most creative, amazing game ever, but... These guys here are one-hit kills. If those those giant worms eat you, that's a one-hit kill. I know that. I think there's a couple different ways to go here, and I think I almost always end up going the wrong way. I'm one of the few Sonic Lost World apologists out there. Like, I really do enjoy this game. Otherwise, we wouldn't be playing it. Why not? I play this game like once a year or so, and this happens to be the day. More right now. Okay, I was gonna say I already got that red ring. I thought there'd be a red ring over there. I mean, let me see. If this is a tube, then I guess technically you're right, but I can't really go all the way to the other side of it, or I get stuck in this slow sand. So I mean, yeah, I guess technically. Yeah, you definitely want to stay on these brighter parts. Get some movement. That's an optional wisp. You can use that to fly over this, but I actually think it's more fun to just do what I did there. This is one of my favorite levels. This really is a great level. More right now. Woo! Alright. Hey, yo. Sonic Lost World right now. Watch out for that thing. See, I did not time that right at all. It's hideous. I don't want to be in the way when that goes off. It's like Buzz Lightyear's laser, right? Ooh, watch out. There's also a few levels. Well, I don't want to give everything away. There's also some levels where this happens. Like, no, you'll see. Maybe. Find out if you'll see after this. So you can go higher than that. I forget what the difference is. If I was going for the red rings, I would try the ultimate path there, but there's really no reason to. Fire guys are a little annoying. And that's why they're a little annoying. Nice shot. Also like that as much as I like the gold ring, I like that it ends with the capsule. Just, again, nice little Sonic touch. I know, figure that. Sonic stuff in a Sonic game, but more right now. Yeah, also like every act in this is fairly different from one another, at least in this particular level. And again, they all have very minor differences. But this one is obviously quite a bit different. This is one of those auto runner stages. Oh, I actually missed the red ring in this stage. Just looking at the map. This one, you definitely use the multi-homing attack a lot. There's a few levels like this as well. Oh shit, there it is. Fuck. Oh, I saw the red ring too, and I was trying to get to it. Didn't end up working out in the end of the day. Really it almost reminds me of the level from Mario Galaxy 2, which I believe... Oh no, Mario Galaxy 2 came out before this game. The tree slide level in that game. Except this is obviously a little bit different here. Ouch. Yeah, I believe there is a boss at the end of this level. Oh, 3 extra lives. I actually did not know you could put on 3 extra lives up there. That's good to know. In case I die a bunch of times. Hey, that part was a little bit... whatever.
I can't believe he made it this far.
I really did.
Make me look bad.
I mean, all you guys kind of look bad. We're making fun of the bosses right now. Yeah, this boss is weird. But then again, I never liked this boss. This Fatso guy. I forget what they even call him, so I'm just going to call him Fatso. He has a real name. I don't know what it is. We're just going to call him Fatso. Whoa, watch out. Whoa. Then he does what he does best, and he just gets really fat. Hit him. It's really not much of this fight. Exactly. Papa John's, who I hear is going out of business, or at least some of them are. More right now. Of course, they're hitting on those tough economic issues right now. So try to survive this boss. Oh no, I'm dead! I didn't survive the boss, much like Papa John's surviving the economic conditions. So there you go. Papa John's was indeed a predictor of my eventual death. It's a good thing I collected those extra lives, because we gotta start this boss over again. Well played. I actually didn't realize you could miss that. Or at least, I don't know. Seems like it'd be harder to miss than to just get it, right? More analyzing right now. Alright, here we go. Watch out. Whoa! What am I saying whoa for? I just saw this boss. Still, whoa! Or Sonic Lost World right now. Ouch! No! He fell right on me! Right now, you got no rings. Now I'm going to starve. So this guy's not going to. He ain't going hungry. Whoa, here we go. Ciao, another one. Alright, this time don't miss the platform. I didn't. Whoa, watch out. Watch out. Got him. Trying to think if that's it. That really is it. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Alright. Here we go again. This level here, they take another very drastic change of pace here. It's not desert. Hell, I just gave it away. It's not desert ruins. It's desert ruins. I thought was a nice, fun little change of pace, huh? Pretty much all 2D level as well. Brings back a lot of these gimmicks too, like the very same cannon shooters from Sonic 2. It really is. You're just desserts. Well played. I think. Do I have all? Oh, I don't have all the red rings in this one. I think I'd find more red rings at some point. Oh, watch out for these guys. I believe these are actually Sonic CD enemies. Oh no, I keep messing this fucking shit up. There we go. Hey, oh, there we go. So it looks like the red ring I'm missing is like... They really did ruin the dessert. What is it? The last red ring is at the end, it looks like. It's the 5th one, so... I'll just have to pay attention. A lot of them are like just under the level design, sometimes over it. It's actually a fairly short level, but I like the idea to sort of like change it up a little bit. I think there's an alternate path under here. Yep, there is. Oh, that's where one of the red rings was. This definitely has a very Sonic Colors level design to it, which, I mean, this game came out 3 years after Colors, so not that surprising. Ow. I just jump on the damn thing. Again, you can see I'm missing that 5th red ring, and I don't know exactly where it's going to be, but when I find it, look out. Hey, yo. Nice shot. Oh, this is a great level. It's not that long, though, but... The game has so many different aesthetics and levels, it doesn't stick with a lot of them for long, which you can like that or not like it, depends on what you thought of the level. I want to see something here. For some reason, I thought there was like something there if I could get. I'm missing a red ring somewhere here. Just wondering where. There's one there, so it's not in this area. I mean, this is the style I wish Sonic would go back to. Not necessarily candy levels, but just like more creative, surreal levels. You know, like this is like what Genesis levels used to be. My guess is that last one is like this way. It's gotta be. 'Cause I don't think I've ever really gone that way. Close to the end of the level, too. That's the annoying thing. It's like, you can use these to go up a path or so. Damn it. Can we go around? This is not working out. That goes, like, right to the end. But what if can I go above? How badly do I really want this damn red ring? Oh, not that badly. Wait a minute. There were some rings underneath there, though. I got an idea. I don't know how great it's going to be, but... whether I'm supposed to do this or not, I don't know, but... Oh, wait a minute. I think this... Yep, that's where that was. Oh, dude, it's right there! It's fucking... How the hell? Oh, shit, you see it, too. I actually saw where the red ring was, but... Hold on, let me try this again. Where I go past the ending. But this time... Oh, wait, it's gone now? What the fuck? Alright, so there's no way to get out of that. The only way, as I die again, the only way you're getting to that red ring is to go over all the cannonballs. That sucks. Unless there's, like, another path higher than this, but... This is why I don't go for, like, collectathon 100% stuff. At least I like the music. I always like the music. That's what I thought. I thought you could homing attack them too, but, like, apparently not unless they get the little reticle on them. Oh, hold on. Okay. Got it. So you can't homing attack them, but for some reason you could just jump on them regular. That's what I mean. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? So, hey, we got it. Eventually. Still need a shit ton more of those if I ever want to get supersonic. I actually got all the red rings in this level? Well, that's good, because I really don't like this boss, so... The level before the boss is just an auto-scroller where you're trying to run from a tornado, and there it is. Oh no! Oh, that was close.
You're small and fast, but I'm big and slow.
Now, the more I look at this, the more it does look like a Mario level. It's just fucking like Mario Desert level with the blocks there. But you don't see Mario doing this. As far as I know. Yes, they brought this back from colors. Reasons that nobody really knows. It really does. It's about to continue right now. Whoa. It's actually longer than I remember it. Yeah, really, I get it. Real. It's a lot of rings.
Looks like
Alright, here we go.
dinner's
That's right. I think first, well, you have to fight him, but I think there's another drill section. Ow. I guess we're not doing that. Bonk. Yep, you have to follow him. I will say, some of the fights were better than others. Like, some of the boss fights had multiple parts that were kind of interesting. Other ones I thought dragged on too long. Some were very short. An uneven game for sure, but not the worst one. This part here, you have to be careful. I learned the hard way that if those bricks fall on you, it's an instant death when he sets them up, because you don't know that's going to happen the first time you play him. This part's pretty easy, once you avoid the bricks. So, is that really it? I thought you did him one more time at least. I guess that's it. I thought he was going to get angry before, like, phase 2 of the fight, but no, that was phase 2 of the fight. This is not a drill, but it is phase 2 of the fight. Hey, yo. You ever played Donkey Kong Jungle Beat? I've not played that. Well, played a little bit of it in our demo. I never had the Donkey Kongas, so I never, like, had the ability to play it. I have a GameCube, still do. I always like the idea of Jungle Beat. Like, I know you can play it without the congas, but I just figured, like, why would I? Anyway, time for a little Tropical Coast right now. Looks like I'm missing a red ring in this level as well. See if I can find it right now. This level is definitely a tubular level, but look at how weird the water is. Just like a wall of water on either side that stops you from going all the way around it. Then again, you can still go up here, take care of these assholes. There are a couple levels in this world that I'm not a huge fan of. This actually isn't one of them. I like this one. It's probably the most straightforward. After that, though, it really is kind of a crapshoot. It really is not the same without... That's what I figured. The whole gimmick was the drums. Let's see, where's this go? There's one of a couple different ways to go. Like the music sounds like Little Mermaid music. It really does. I'm gonna say you don't want to hit them with only attack. I'm trying to think like which way I usually go. Like it's been a while since I played this game because if I go a different way, I might find some stuff I don't normally find, but I don't remember which way I used to go. Whoa. Okay, this part I have to destroy these. Ooh, that was lucky. If I go like all the way around, I don't know that I've ever really gone this way, but I probably have. Oh, nice shot. What's funny is the DS version of this game is completely different, and there's actually an underwater part in this level that's not in this, where you can go underwater in one of those streams, and it's actually pretty cool. I mean, I still prefer the Wii U version of the game, but the DS version's actually not bad. Or maybe, I'm sorry, 3DS at that point. It would have been a 3DS game. It was still really good, though. I think it's like the only fully 3D Sonic game on, like, well, DS or 3DS. There's still some 2D levels, but it's mostly 3D. And it is based on this game, obviously. A little bit harder, too. I think. Game likes to spam you with rings, too. But you will need them at some point. When you get them, look out. God damn, a lot of extra lives here. Oh, I almost missed. I saw something off to the side here. It's not like a usual item. It was a red ring. I already had it, though. Whoopsies. It's been a long time. You. Got him. Hey, yo. Good job, Tropical Coast. I just know one of the levels has that stupid fruit gimmick. I think it's... Is it the next one? I think it's the next one. Oh, there's a... what do you call it? There's a shield right there I can grab. Might help me out. Okay, what item don't I want another one of? I can just discard this. There are occasional uses for this thing, but usually not. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this level, but yeah, we're gonna play it. This level involves taking these giant fruits and, like, putting them in these little choppers to make fruit juice. Like, it shows you right here how to do it. This one's easy, but... because some of them get very annoying. Other than that, I actually kind of like this, like, top-down level design. It reminds me of, like, Sonic 3D Blast, but not as bad. As I get hit with those spikes, but... I didn't know you could actually destroy those. But, yeah. Kind of like 3D Blast, though. It also tasks you with, like, having to keep track of some slow-moving thing and getting it to a destination. So I never really thought about that. Actually, 3D Blast is a good comparison to this game, because this is like the 3D Blast of, like, modern games, where it's like, people don't really hate it, they don't really love it. They have their complaints about it, but it's not, like, egregious. So, like, alright, so we're trying to get this apple, I guess, to, like, a certain place, so I gotta, like, move it. And I can't go too far off the path or it'll get destroyed, so I have to, like, very carefully navigate it. You can even see here how that could be annoying. And I think I just went the wrong way, so now it is likely going to fall, maybe. Maybe not. I've never actually gone this way. I'm gonna say, I'm pretty sure that's gonna fall. Well, maybe not. I don't think I've ever taken this. This is the worst possible route for this. You know, it does, and, you know, in the case of Frontiers, it's a weird one, because Frontiers actually is like a 30-hour campaign, so it's not like, you know, it's a super short game, but the problem is, it had all those problems in it. Alright, that's gonna fall. Yep, it fell. So, like, I look at Sonic Lost World, because we're talking about games that take them too long to make. Between, like, 2010 and 2013, they made 3 new games. They made Sonic Colors, Generations, and Lost World. The thing is, all those games are very short. So it's like, do you want a short game, or do you want, like, a longer game that might have a bunch of technical issues in it? Because, yeah, I guess you could get both. Oh, wow, I'm a moron. I only had to go this way the whole time. Yeah, you could get a game that has both, but it doesn't seem to ever happen. Like, so, yeah, it takes them, like, 3 or 4 years to make a new Sonic game, because they're either trying to perfect it, like, you know, make it a shorter game but have it without glitches, or if they're going to go the Sonic Frontiers route, it'll be a longer game, but there'll be a bunch of game-breaking glitches or pop-in or whatever throughout it. Now, I'm not saying Sonic Frontiers is, like, unplayable, but that game took about 5 years. Even if I want to give them the benefit of, you know, the pandemic and everything, say maybe 4 years, because they might have had to take a year off, but this game took, like, 2 years, but it's, like, maybe a 3-hour game. So, I mean, again, that's kind of the trade-off. So that's actually why I was pleasantly surprised by Shadow Generations for what it was. And that was not even supposed to be like the next Sonic game, but Shadow Generations is about the same length, or close to the same length as Sonic Generations, and it was only a couple years between Frontiers and that game. I mean, assuming they didn't start on it sooner. That's the thing with Sega. They could have 3 or 4 Sonic games cooking at once, and that could be why we get the uneven quality. I really don't know how they prioritize projects. I don't know. They must have something. People are saying they're going to announce a new Sonic game this year. It'll come out next year. They must have something ready to go by now. Or if not ready to go, close to it. But yeah, the question is it going to be... Now, my guess is it's going to be a long game, right? They're trying to follow up Sonic Frontiers, so it's probably going to be another... I also have no idea why the watermelon makes shockwaves, but it's probably going to be a giant open-world game, right? So that's going to take longer to make, could have more issues, but could also be the best Sonic game ever. Who knows? Hey, what's going on, Randy? Welcome to the final stream of February 2026 here. It is a Super Sonic Saturday here with the Blur. And right now we are trying to lead a watermelon that for some reason makes Bowser-like shockwaves, trying to lead that thing into the juicer. It's probably my least favorite part of this level. No, actually my least favorite part of the level might involve the pineapple. Yes, there is a pineapple in this level. Alright, just go in here, because I also, if I fall in the blades, I think it's an instant death for me. There we go. So yeah, I don't disagree with that, Toaster. It does take them a long time. The other thing is they're always promoting spin-offs. You know, they have the racing game, they have other, like, smaller Sonic projects. I'm not saying that stuff takes that much time, but they're not exactly focused on it. But then again, neither is Nintendo with Mario. I mean, how many non-Mario main games have they made? RPGs, party games, whatever. Enjoying the snow. Is it snowing right now? I actually paused the game to look. I don't see any snow, but all right. The snow for this week, if that's what you mean, has been freaking annoying. This and maybe yesterday were the only days that felt like a normal week to me. Whoa, okay. I guess I was just supposed to know to jump there. I don't know. You know what? I don't mind if it takes them a long time to make a new Sonic game if it's a good game. You know what I mean? Like, if it's like a 10 out of 10 game, I'm not going to be sitting here years from now going, yeah, but it took them so long to make. Like, no one would care. But the problem is, you know, it probably won't be a 10 out of 10 game. We're all going to be sitting here going, it took them 6 years to make that. Like, that is a very likely possibility. And again, I'm not trying to throw shade at Frontiers. I do think Frontiers was a good game. I really go back and forth on Frontiers, where I'm just like, oh, this is one of the best games ever. And then I go to, like, kind of some issues, you know? Like, and it's hard to ignore those issues. And the thing with Frontiers that makes it worse, in my opinion, actually, is the fact that they did go back and work on the game some more. The fact that the year after, 2023, was full of, like, updates, and it's like, they did these cool things with the game, but they didn't update some of the fundamental issues of the game. That was, like, probably the first time I've seen Sega, like, not redo a game, but basically go back and really fix some issues, but they didn't fix any of the big ones, like the pop-in, like some of the level design just being very blocky, and I don't know how you fix that, but they actually went ahead and redid, like, the entire end of the game. Like, that's not an easy thing to do. I would have been fine with them just fixing the issues in the main game if that was the only choice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was weird to me. It's like, you guys had a chance to kind of clean up some stuff. I'm not saying redo the entire game, but just clean up some stuff. And instead they chose to do these really weird gimmicks, like the birthday gimmick, and, like, you know, the action chain challenges were fun enough. But, I mean, like, these are things that could have just been thrown in the base game and improved in an update. Like, again, I don't know. They were free updates. They weren't terrible, but it's just the fact that it's like, just fix the pop-in. Like, that should have been, like, the first thing. Without an update. Well, you would have had to do an update, but that should not have even been a thing. Anyhow, what do we got going on here? The difference I see here between Mario and Sonic is that Mario has a stable franchise and Sonic doesn't really know what they're going for. That is true, and I actually don't really have a rebuttal to that. Other than to say, like, Mario has not had a lot of 3D games when you really look at it. And what I mean by that is, like, full 3D, you know, the Mario 3D series is what? Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, the 2 Galaxy games, Odyssey, that's like 5 games, which, I mean, they're 5 really great games, really big games. But if you want to talk about the stability, I'm not saying any of them are bad games. They're all very different. You know, Mario Galaxy is different than Sunshine, different than 64. Who knows what they're planning next? Mario's had more 2D games. They keep making new 2D Mario games. But as far as the quality of them, I was going to say, like, I don't think Nintendo's made, like, a bad Mario game, but also Nintendo makes a lot of Mario games. They're just not platforming Mario games, if that makes sense. Like, they just made a new Mario Tennis. They make Mario Kart. They make Mario Party. They make Mario at the Olympic Games. Like, they do a lot with Mario, obviously. But, like, how many 3D Mario games are there? Even if you want to throw in Super Mario 3D World, I'll give you that. Sonic has a lot of 3D games. And I'm only saying that because when you have a lot of games, you just have more of a chance to hit a dud here and there. I think Sonic hits more than he misses. I just think it's more that Nintendo's hits are so phenomenal, I will admit, that they overshadow Sonic's hits. Because Sonic's misses are so low, if that makes sense. So I think Frontiers would have had to really be like a 10 out of 10 to kind of negate some of those bad games. But anyway, I like the music of Frontiers. I like Frontiers. I will go on record saying I like Frontiers. I don't love it. I miss Genesis era Sonic. I do too, but I mean, there's been more examples of that than you think. Sonic Mania, obviously being the obvious one, but even Sonic Superstars I thought was a really good game. Again, I think Sonic Superstars is almost like Sonic Lost World, where it's like it just kind of came out and people were like, okay, it's good. I think Superstars is a good game. I think Sonic fans sometimes can be really picky and they expect like perfection. I'm not going to say this game is perfect. I'm not going to say Superstars is perfect. Those are good games, though. Like, I think some people get, like, rose-tinted glasses where it's like, why don't you guys just make the game from, like, 1995? It's like, well, they're not going to, but they can still make a pretty good game. And I think Sega actually does listen to their fans. I think sometimes it's actually a bit of a problem. I think they listen to their fans too much, where their fans are like, well, we want a slower game, well, we want a faster game, and then we get, like, giant open-world Sonic, or we get really fast racing games, you know? Like, I think Sega actually needs to kind of experiment a little more. Because to me, this game was experimental, but I don't think it was bad. This is one of the few times I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with Sega changing this up because I did not think this was like a bad choice. It could have been scrubbed out a little better, but I think Sega's too quick to give up an idea and move on to another one, is what I'm saying. Like, I think there was nothing wrong with this game that it couldn't have been salvaged in a future game. Anyhow. They're not fundamentally different. 3D Mario always has the same formula with different gimmicks. Go into level, clear objective. Yes and no. Mario 3D games have had that formula down where you kind of go into the same world, whether it was like, you know, Bob-omb Battlefield or whatever, but you're trying to get stars, but they're in different places. Sonic also has had that, though, just not with the stars, but like, you have the idea of going into a level and beating it, point A to point B. But even besides the goals, I mean, I don't know. To me, there's just not enough 3D Mario games for me to judge it. I think they're mostly similar in that way, I will admit. Where are all those Sega? So we did get Shinobi. We got Shinobi last year from Sega. That was one revival. Supposedly we're going to hear the next one this year. I'm guessing either Crazy Taxi or Jet Set. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of figured those projects were going to take a few years, and that was like 2023, so we're at 2026 now. I would not be surprised. I think, actually, now that you said that, I think Golden Axe might be the next one. Golden Axe or Streets of Rage, something that would be easy to produce. I think Crazy Taxi is actually going to be the biggest one. I'm hoping it is. Like, I'm hoping that one takes the longest, because I think they're going to actually really make that thing, like, more of a modern racing game or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do, but the quality if the quality of Shinobi was any indication, I thought Shinobi was a great game. Shinobi Art of Vengeance. My only thing with all these revivals, no matter how they do, is this going to be a one-off, or are they actually going to revive these franchises? In other words, you know, are they going to make Golden Axe, whatever they call the new one, and then 10 years from now, that's it? Like, it just has that feeling to me. Like, as much as I love Shinobi Art of Vengeance, I don't see them making another Shinobi game for at least, like, 5 or 10 years. I hope I'm wrong. I just don't see it. I don't know how well the game did. Reviews-wise, I think it did well, but, like, is there enough of a market for 2D action games that they're going to keep making Shinobi games? Same with all those other ones. I feel like Sega's going to get a brief little boost on the name recognition. Oh, new Golden Axe. Oh, new Streets of Rage. And then it's going to be gone. I mean, heck, we have a new Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage 4 came out like 6 years ago. Streets of Rage 4 was a great game. Came out on PS4 and all those consoles back in 2020. And it was a great game. And I'm glad they're making another one. But, again, well, I guess 6 years isn't that far between new entries. Like, I keep forgetting, you know, when I was young and when a lot of us were young, like, it feels like a new hit game came out every year, right? From Sega or Nintendo or somebody, whether it was Sonic or something else. And that's still true sometimes, but now it feels like it takes 5 or 6 years for a new entry of a series to come out. So, I mean, that's just how it is these days. Like, that's not that uncommon. So even if they do make another Shinobi game, it might be another few years before we see it. But if nothing else, I'm glad we got a new Shinobi game, because I always thought the Shinobi trilogy on Genesis was very underrated, so it was great to get another game in that. And as far as where the other ones are, well, who knows? I feel like we might get 1 or 2 of them in 2026, with another one in 2027. They only announced like 5 of them, I think. So I wasn't even sure if the Jet Set one was going to be like a full remake of the original or just an all-new game, and it really was hard to tell. They didn't show any of them all that long, except for Shinobi, obviously, because that came out. God, what? Oh, damn it, how the fuck did I fuck that up? I'm going to apply to a lot of my streams. How the fuck did I fuck that up? Yeah, I will admit, that intrigued me, bringing back the old Sega properties, and, you know, I don't know. We'll see what Sega does. I feel like Sega's always in this weird place where it's like they take a step forward, they take a step back, they take another step forward. Like, I just never feel like... I want to feel like Sega's back, and this might be the closest I felt to that, just because Sonic Crossworlds Racing was really good, and, you know, the last few years, like, I just need momentum. I need momentum. I need, like, 5 or 6 years without a clunker. I know that's asking for a lot, but I need, like, 5 or 6 years where whether it's Sonic or Golden Axe or this or that, where I can say Sega is back. Because I've had it before, you know, early 2010s, they put out some good games, and then they fell off the cliff again. Then, like 2020 with Streets of Rage, okay, good, and then they kind of disappeared for a while. Like, I need you, Sega, you know? Back in the 90s, I was not wondering where Sega was, because they were there all the time, you know? Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, you know, all the other games they made, Nights and Dreams. It was, like, fucking some of the best games of all time within, like, 5 years or whatever. And now I'm just kind of like, well, they put out a good game, but are we going to see another one this decade? I don't know. I mean, you look at the 2020s for Sonic, it's going to be Frontiers and maybe one more game. That's just it. That's the reality of it. Like, if we're only counting mainline games, I mean, I'll count Sonic Superstars because I do think it should count, but if we're just counting Frontiers as the mainline game and they make, say, one more, like in 2027, that's 2 games. That'll be 2 games in a decade, whereas the 2010s, I think, had like 4 or 5. I'm not even saying it's a bad thing necessarily. If those 2 games are amazing, then we can look back at the 2020s and say, wow, 2020s, you know, Sonic didn't have that many games, but they were really good. The thing is, Frontiers to me was not like a generational game. I think they wanted it to be like the next Sonic Adventure. They wanted it to be like the next, like, I'm actually going to play this secret stage first. They wanted this to be like the next big thing. And I think it was good enough. I think overall it's considered like a 7 out of 10. That's not what they wanted, though. And I feel like if you take 4 or 5 years to make a game, that's like a reboot at that point, like depending on what you're going for. And I think that they wanted Frontiers to be like the beginning of some new thing. And that's why I'm a little bit worried about their next game. Are they going to really stick to it, or are they going to throw it out again? I don't know. And that's another reason why I think these games take so long, is because they probably have like 3 or 4 prototypes before they get to the actual game. Kind of like how Metroid Prime 4, which is a completely different game, but I feel like that game had a bunch of prototypes before they finally stuck with something, and it didn't feel all that good. I'm still going to keep playing Metroid Prime 4 before I pass Final Judgment, but I can say right now that it does not feel like a game that was, like, really, you know, I don't say they didn't put any thought into it, but it seems like, oh, I'm going to die here. Anyway, I will read these comments in a second, because I do think it's an interesting topic. But I think if Frontiers did better, not necessarily, I mean, Frontiers sold well, it reviewed okay, but I think the fan reaction is basically like most. It's just that it was okay. Again, I don't know how in touch Sega is with that, but I think they expected this to be like the big home run, like, oh, Sonic's back, and we're gonna, you know, this is the formula, lock it in. I don't think they have that much confidence in it. I just get that feeling that we could see another situation where they go back to something more basic, just to kind of like reset. They love to reset. They love, like, Sonic 4, you know, Sonic, even this game to a degree was kind of like, let's play it safe. They love to do that, because it's like, well, you can't say we didn't, you know, give them what they wanted. Sonic Colors was another one, you know. You guys wanted us to kind of get rid of all the extra stuff, and, like, I don't think anyone wants you to get rid of the extra stuff. I think we just want you to do it better. Like, I think, ultimately, like, I don't think Sonic 06's downfall was that it had too many playable characters. I think it just was a bad game. I don't think they needed to get rid of everything about Sonic 06. I think they just needed to make a better game. Same thing with Frontiers. I think the mechanics there were great. I think they just need to make a better game with those mechanics instead of just going, well, let's go back to square one. And I'm not saying they do that. They very well probably are working on another open world game. Maybe it's smaller, but it's better. Because actually, I liked Shadow Generations for its hub world. It was a lot smaller than Frontiers, but I thought there was actually more to do, which is kind of funny. That the smaller hub world had more to do than the big hub world. And I'm not saying it had a ton to do, but just the fact that it had anything to do compared to Frontiers, which, again, I mean, I'm not here to slam dunk on Frontiers. I just feel like for a game that took 4 years, I don't know, it's whatever. That does count to me. That's why I've been so critical of the Nintendo Switch 2, just in general, not even price-wise, is that the Switch 2 was like 7 or 8 years in the making. I mean, I'm not saying they made it for 7 years, but like the Switch was like Nintendo's only console for like half a decade and more. And then they come out with Switch 2, they're like, did we really even need to go to Switch 2? Like, there was really not much of a difference. But anyway. Animals you say to send you a thank you gift. Longer dev times are the result of modern game expectations. Not much for good. Well, yeah, that's my point. Is whatever they come out with, whether it's 2026 or 2027, I definitely agree with you that it needs to be something indicative of that. 06 is just literally unfinished. Some more. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's my point. And I'm not saying, I don't know internally what Sega thinks of that game. I'm sure they don't like it, but I feel like their knee-jerk reaction was just like, oh, let's get rid of the playable characters and let's just make Sonic levels because people like the Sonic levels and they don't like the other levels. So, yeah, obviously, even in, like, Sonic Adventure, even in some of the best 3D Sonic games, the Sonic levels were the best part. That's why you're playing them. And that is a problem that Mario games don't have, because, quite frankly, you only play as Mario or Luigi, who play similarly. You know, I think, like, Galaxy had Luigi as an extra, but, like, my point being, you know, in a Sonic game, there is those extra playable characters, and I mean, that started as far back as Sonic 3. You know, you could play the whole game differently as Tails or Knuckles, which, again, I think is a cool thing, but it also means you have to design the levels a little bit differently. And, you know, the way Sonic Adventure handled that, I thought was actually pretty good with, you know, making Knuckles the hunting character because of his slower movement and combat and all that. Having, you know, I mean, you guys have played Sonic Adventure, but that's what I mean. Like, that's one way to do it, whereas Mario doesn't have to do that. Mario just makes the same levels for Mario. You know, if they want to add in Luigi or something, they can do that, and it really won't change the level. That's all I'm saying. Like, there are other playable characters in Mario. I mean, even if you look at, like, the 2D games, you know, you play as Peach or Daisy or this or that, it literally doesn't change a thing. You're just jumping through the same levels. Whereas Sonic, you have multiple playable characters. You have to make the levels differently. Now, why the hell you had to have Big go fishing, I have no goddamn idea. But yes, Mario does not have that issue. Like, if they make a new Mario game, it's mostly going to be focused on Mario. They might have some parts where you play as Luigi, but generally, that's the formula. At the same time, as a longtime Sonic fan, I would not mind levels as Tails or Knuckles or whoever they want. I actually did not mind playing as them in the Frontiers Final Horizon. It was just that the level design was so bad, I didn't even care about how Knuckles controlled because it was like, why is this level design so bad? I just think, I don't know. I think Sonic should always be the focus of his own games, but I'm not against the idea of having like these sections where you play as Tails or Knuckles or Amy. Like, I'm really not. I think they just have to be done well, and I think they were done well in SA2. I know people have their issues with the shooting levels and the hunting levels, but I think they were done well enough where I'm not going like, oh, great, this again. Like, I don't know. I thought those were fun levels. Maybe not every single one, but I would say probably 2/3, if not more, of SA2 was a fun game. There were some frustrating parts, obviously. Cannon's Core was kind of a mess, which is a shame because I think the idea of playing as one level as every character is kind of cool. Again, they tried that with End of the World in Sonic 06, and it was another train wreck, but that whole game was a train wreck. But I do like the idea of having like the final level playing as everybody. It's just that, again, with SA2, it was just... Some parts of Cannon's Core were okay, actually. But other parts, not so much. But anyway. I think you can still make a really good Sonic game. You know, I don't know if it has to be open world. I don't know if it has to be whatever. But you can make a really good Sonic game, whether it's open world or not, with multiple playable characters. Like, I don't think I'm asking for the moon here. I prefer playing as Blaze the Cat. Alright, hold on. I gotta see these comments. I just saw I like playing as Blaze the Cat. I think Frontiers is the first step into a new type of Sonic game. Trying to play it to a degree while testing the waters. I would judge the next... Yeah, I would love to see the next Sonic Game on Frontier style. What I want to see, though, and I mean, I know they can do it. I just hope that they don't overdo it. But I wouldn't mind seeing some of those classic Sonic environments as open worlds. Whether I don't want it to literally be Carnival Night, but like a giant Carnival City or something. You know, like there's a lot they could do with that. And Frontiers was just kind of like ruins, in more ruins, in ruins with lava. Like it really was not a lot of diversity there. Blaze of Cat's basically the same character. I like Cannon's Core. I like parts of Cannon's Core. I like those little blocks as Robotnik and Tails that you hit to stop the flow of time for a brief moment. Like, there were some good ideas there. I mean, unfortunately, we never will know what the future of Sonic would have been had Sega stayed in consoles. Like, I feel like it would have been a lot different and a lot better, quite honestly. Like, I feel like Sonic Team kind of went their separate ways after SA2, and, you know, they kind of reformed or whatever. So I think a lot of the games we were getting between, you know, 2004, 2010 were just kind of the result of a fractured company. You know, and then, I mean, even this game was 2013. It's just, you know, it is what it is, but I still stand by the fact that Sonic would have been a much better franchise if Sega stayed in consoles because they would have had more consistency. I feel like Sega as a company doesn't have consistency, so their games, not just Sonic, their games in general don't have consistency. Not that they're all bad, it's just that they just, I don't know. I mean, really, even with this whole thing with Sonic Lost World, like, this was a game that was a result of a deal with Nintendo where they had, like, exclusive rights to Sonic for, like, 4 games, one of them being Sonic Boom, that tells you all you need to know on Wii U. I mean, you know, I have nothing wrong with, I have no problem with Sonic games being on Wii U, but, like, I don't know, I just feel like that, for whatever reason, that changed their design philosophy. Like, whereas if they had their own console, meaning Sega, they would always design the games the same way, or close to it. I don't know. We'll never know. Like I said, maybe they all would have wanted the same, but I just feel like we would not have seen this game on, like, a Dreamcast 2, if that was such a thing. We would not have seen, you know, Sonic 06 on Sega's next console if there had been one. I truly believe that. I don't know what we would have seen, but I feel like they would have stuck with the Sonic Adventure direction. I think a Sonic Adventure 3 would have been very likely, and that would actually be called Sonic Adventure 3. Because you can easily tell there's parts of Sonic 06 that are supposed to be a Sonic Adventure follow-up. I think that's obvious. Same with Sonic Unleashed to a degree. So it's like they still had that DNA in them to, like, make that kind of game, but they just kind of abandoned it after a while. They went to Sonic Colors. Sonic Colors, to me, is when it shifted. I just died again. Sonic Colors is when it shifted to this more kind of kid-friendly direction, which, again, isn't bad. Like, it's a platformer. It works. I think that's when Sega started to go from, like, you know, let's go for the next big platformer to, like, let's just go to something that works. It's like, this works. It's fun. I enjoyed it. Still do. I don't know. Maybe just as I get older, myself, I'm talking about the unrealistic expectation of fans. Maybe I'm also kind of, like, in that boat where I'm like, you know, yeah. You know, like Toaster, I miss the Genesis era. I miss, like, a Sonic game coming out and knowing it's going to be, like, a hit. You know, I don't know that now. I don't know what they're going to reveal, and I don't know if I'm going to like it. I hope I do, but it does feel a lot like, you know, it could be great. It could be eh. Either way, I'm going to play the damn thing, let's be honest. They could reveal something that looks awful, and I'd still go, well, gotta play it. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Okay, this time let me hit that checkpoint so don't fuck that up. I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking this, but there are times where I'm just like, is it really that hard to make a new Sonic game that's, like, on the level of, like, even Sonic Adventure? Like, let's just start there. Because for all the people that, and I'm not saying you're saying that, but a lot of people want to say, like, Sonic was never good in 3D. It's like, Sonic was good in his first game in 3D. And, you know, it had issues, but, like, is it really that hard, especially with Sega who loves to remake things, is it really that hard to go back to that and just look at what worked and what didn't work and say, like, okay, let's make a new Sonic game, you know, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, you know, a few hub worlds, nothing crazy, action stages, like, again, is that, maybe it is hard, I don't know, I'm not a game designer, but, like, is it really that hard to take what worked and just come up with, like, I just feel like they just, like, ignore it. They're just like, alright, let's put Sonic in the desert now and have him jump on some platforms. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't have the same soul. Like, Sonic Adventure had errors, but you know what? It had a lot of heart put into it. I know that sounds cliche to say, but, like, a lot of the story was cool. Like, it just, I can't explain it. It was just well done. It was just, you could tell it was trying to be something, whereas this game just feels like it's trying to be a game. Like, it feels like it's not trying to be a bad game, but it's just trying to be a game. And that's a lot of Sonic games. There's a lot of games they make nowadays. It's like, okay, will it play? You know, will it work in today's generation, today's market? And yeah, it will. I don't know how well this game sold. Probably not very well. But Frontier sold very well, and I think that's fine. You know, I think that's what Sega wants. They don't want to take a loss of their Sonic games. But from a fan's perspective, I'm like, is it really that hard? And again, I'm not trying to minimize game design, but like, look at the Genesis games, look at the 3D games, look at every game, good or bad, and say what worked here, what didn't. And I'm not saying copy it, but just like go with it. I don't know. Like, I'm not a game designer, so I don't know. But I feel like just by chance in like the last 20 years that would have happened once, and it just feels like it hasn't. It feels like Sega's just determined to just barrel into this wall of just like, you know, either speed boosting or open world or whatever. Like, they're just not. They don't. I don't want to say they don't care, but like they don't look back at their own mistakes or successes and do anything with them. They just go, okay, that's good. Like, it goes fast and he does platforming. Like, I just feel like even when I hear them talk about Sonic, like, you know, the producers, it just sounds like they have like a very basic understanding of what made those games great. But at the end of the day, they just want a paycheck. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, everybody's busy cat. Feel like they can broaden their game now. That's the other thing, and I wasn't trying to go there. I really wasn't. But I've played fan games, and I'm not saying I've played a ton of them. And I played 3D fan games too, by the way. So this isn't just like a Sonic Mania thing. There's a fan game called Sonic Omens. There's stuff in the game Dreams that's like at least on par with what Sega makes, on probably a fraction of that budget. And it's like, again, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, I could do it in 5 minutes. No, I'm sure it's difficult, but like, I don't know. I'm just, that's all I got. It's like you would think it was the hardest thing in the world to do, the way it takes Sega like 7 years to do it, and then the game comes out, and it's kind of like the same game they just made. It's like, why did it take you 7 years to make the same game you just made? Like, at least make it take like 7 weeks then, if it's going to be the same game you just made. Anyway, that's all I got. But yeah, no, you're right. There's some great Sonic fan games out there. I'm not going to, you know, say every Sonic fan game is better than an official release, but a lot of them are pretty damn good. And they're made by, like, 3 people in their basement on a budget of, like, $100. And it's like, you know, I could probably sit here and draw a Sonic map. I couldn't make the game, but I could probably draw a Sonic level that would at least be interesting. The only reason I say that is because I played so many Sonic games. I know what I would like to see in a Sonic game. I've always envisioned, you know, whether it was my perfect Genesis game or 3D game, I've always imagined a game. Sonic Mania, by the way, came the closest to, like, what my perfect 3D Sonic game would be like. Like, just, like, there's still more they could do. Which sounds weird to say after 35 years of Sonic, but to me, there's still more environments to be made. There's more things to do. Obviously, there's less because the series has been around longer, but there's still more that could be done. And I'm not saying I figured it out and no one else has, but I just feel like going back to Green Hill Zone every 3 years is not really doing it, you know, and I don't think it ever was. I think Green Hill Zone was a great level for 1991, and then bring it back once in a while, but that should be it. That should be it. Really and truly. This channel already. Freedom. Oh, I love Freedom Planet. Yes, you're right. Freedom Planet. I want to play Freedom Planet 2, actually. Yes, Freedom Planet definitely has that Sonic DNA. And I believe it even has, like, a character that plays, like, Tails. I don't know if they have one that plays, like, Knuckles. I actually don't know. I finished the main campaign in that game, but yeah, that's a great game. Yeah, there's a lot of games out there. Spark the Electric Jesters, obviously trying to be like an SA2 game. That game's a little rough on the controls, but still I can see what they were going for. Oh, I don't know how I made that jump. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's out there. They exist. The fan games exist. And I'm not saying it's as simple as, you know, Sonic, or Sega just hires those people and just puts Sonic in the game. I'm sure it would be a little more involved in that, but I mean, for what's worth, I don't hate this game. The game I'm playing right now, Sonic Lost World. I actually think this was a really cool idea, this game. Not perfect in every way. No, it's not, but definitely some unique ideas that, again, I feel like could be applied to another game. Just don't copy all of them, but I don't know. What do I know? I really don't know. I'm not a designer. I'm not an official designer. I can, like, come up with ideas, sort of, but regardless. this area here has these weird ice physics. I mean, they're not weird because you're on ice, so it makes sense it'd be different physics. But anyway, that was part of my rant. I feel like I can go on this random almost no matter what Sonic game we play. Pretty sure I was here already. I do remember this level, Frozen Factory Act 1. I would get lost in a lot. Hey, at least the music's cool. Yeah, I'm definitely, like, making circles here. Oh, shit. Red ring. How am I getting up there? Oh, hold on. There was a... Sonic, what the fuck are you doing? Whoa, 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 whoa! What? How am I supposed to slow down to get that? I really do not want funky fries. I want to see you play... Oh, what? The Sonic Golf game or whatever? I have been looking into more Sonic fan games, mainly because my computer can actually run them, and I'm like, maybe I could stream those sometime. But, okay, how the hell was I supposed to get that one? There was a red ring that, like, it takes you past it so fast you're never going to ever get it. That's if you even get to the end of this damn level. Ow. I might not ever get to the end of this damn level. I really do not want funky fries, nor am I really sure what they even are. Other than fries, it may or may not be funky. Hold on. Fuck. Damn, what the fuck even just hit me there? What? Alright, I guess I'm dead now. I'm gonna say literally just fall. There we go. Oh shit. Oh, they brought back the enemies from Oil Ocean Zone? That's actually kind of a nice callback. Alright, which way have I not gone yet? Damn it. Really don't want to lose the red ring I just got. Alright, hold on. I don't know what noise that was, but just What the fuck was that? Alright, here we go. I always used to get lost here too. There's like only one right way to go, and I would always find a way to go the wrong way. Alright, I think this is actually the right way to go. And I think I just fucked it up. Watch out. Ow. I sure do enjoy going through this thing a million times. This is a different one. Sure do enjoy going through this thing a million times. Alright, hold on. Tell if this is the same thing again or not. It really feels like the same thing again. Oh no, maybe not. No, it is. It's fun to watch, I guess. If you're gonna do spectacle, at least do it right. No, this actually is the right way to go. Oh, thank God. I think that's the end of the level, too. It really is. That was easy, right? Yeah, and I mean, some parts do, I'm not gonna lie. And I also don't think that's the worst game to rip off, especially at this point. Like, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 had come out a few years earlier, and I think they were both really great games. So, I mean, you can rip off worse games. It also does its own thing a fair number of times. It's not always doing Mario Galaxy stuff, but obviously that level is kind of Mario Galaxy-ish. This level here is nothing like the last level. And actually, I can say that for pretty much all of Frozen Factory, almost every level is completely different. This is I don't know what you'd call this, a rolling ball level, almost like Monkey Ball, but worse. You collect rings by rolling over them in the snow. It's actually kind of a cool idea, I guess. But it's also a pretty tough level at times, so you gotta be wary of that. When you are, look out. Oh no! Say, I want to be on that thing. More getting on that thing right now. Alright, here we go. Whee! Alright, there it is. And yes, you could still spin dash while in the snowball. In case anybody was wondering. Snowball's not really that long, but I feel like I always take a while on it because it just, I don't know, it takes me a while to not die. I like the little pool thing there.
It's cute the way he keeps on trying to get past all the death.
I actually forgot who the boss of this level was until I just heard her voice.
I think he kind of likes me.
Okay, for some reason the camera angle just changed there. It really did. Watch out for these idiots. Watch out, missiles. No! No! Ah, I do hate missiles. No, no, no. A lot of missiles. Oh shit, this idiot. Alright, that's gotta stop. No! Well, it stopped alright. Went the other way and I died some other half. We're dying right now. Ow. Alright, that's enough of that. Here we go. That's a bomb. Alright, now time to go through this thing, apparently. Whoa. That's kind of cool, I suppose. I mean, I like the feel of this level. Like, it feels like it'd actually be a better Sonic level without this ball thing. I like the, like, roller coaster rails and all that. Oh, damn it.
Because I don't have any initiative. But you're never gonna get
But the game was not, like, full of bad ideas. I thought it had some good ideas. At times. And what ideas they eventually were. Some of these parts were just annoying. They brought back the chickens from Sonic and Knuckles. No! Forget about the chickens now. We're just gonna end up falling onto our death. What? Oh, I know rings. I'm like, how is that a one-hit kill? I guess the rings that stick to you don't count as rings. Alright, so keep that in mind, I guess. Are there even red rings in this level? Because if there are, I probably don't have any of them. Let's see how many I have. So you can kill these guys. No! What were the odds that I would fall in that very precise hole in the level? Not very high, I guess. Oh, there are red rings in this level. I only have 2 of them. A big shock there, right? Not a shock at all. That's why I will likely never get all the red rings in this game, because there's too much stuff like this where, yeah, you can already see the level of bullshit is I'm going to deal with here. Okay, it's enough of that. Alright, so don't go that way, because they got the frickin' thing with the missiles. There's gotta be a checkpoint coming up here, right? Yeah, there is. Okay. Of course, that only gives me rings for now. Oh, it's Lane and Rem. You want something from OB. I'll have to see what that means momentarily. Oh, the pretzels from Ocean Beach. I got you. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because the pretzels were terrible. But somebody's got to do it. Why not us? Why not us, that poor bastards eating those pretzels? Oh no! Well, now he's getting nothing because he's gonna die. What a death it'll eventually be. Wow, look how big that thing looked, and I just kind of took it out with, like, one barely hit. And then it just kind of gave up chasing me. It's like, you know what? Never mind. Whoa, 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 no! Bobby loves Mike Piazza. Mike Piazza? Catcher from the Mets? He's a pretty good catcher. Yeah, I like Mike Piazza. What's wrong with Mike Piazza? Oh, no! No! You sure enjoyed that pretzel as I enjoyed what was cheese fries. Alright. I enjoyed clearing this level, but I guess one thing at a time, right? Watch out, I'm being chased. A lot to get into here. Watch out. No! Toaster had something too, but I don't remember. Alright, that. Oh no! No! Look at the thing took itself off the cliff, like just to make sure I also died. That's how pathetic that got. Yeah. You can chase me, but whatever. It's gonna chase me, but whatever. Hey, oh, there we go. Uh-oh, two of those idiots. Oh, I thought I was gonna miss that. I really somehow didn't. Toaster had a ... Looks like we're almost at the end of the level. After several painful minutes of screaming. And they were painful. Oh, hold on, we're still not up to the boss yet, but I'll get that checkpoint right there. And a bunch of these rings. I'm trying to remember how this boss even works here. It's going to be annoying because I'm going to have to do it in this snowball thing here. When I do, look out. Wow, they really draw this out, don't they?
Aw,
Here we go.
adorable.
I'm alright. Alright, let's fight this bitch. Boom. Okay. Oh no! I'm actually trying to remember what the point of this boss even is. I think I gotta find the one that she's in without hitting one that has a bomb on it. I think. I'm being that simple about it. That actually hit her? Did I actually get her? I think I did, yeah.
Gotta go. Call me.
Yeah, I can see that. Especially with the green color. And the disgusting. I like how he celebrates even as the snowball. Good job, Sonic. Because why not? You think they'd have him, like, pop out of the snowball or something, but nah, he's like, I'm good. I'm good like this. I'm trying to think, this movie came out, this game came out in 2013. I forget when Inside Out came out, but might have been around that same time, actually. So yes, as you might have gathered, this here is a casino level, because we don't really know. Frozen Factory Act 3 is not a Frozen Factory at all, but rather a casino level. But a pretty fun one. Ouch, besides that happening. Ow. Hey, yo. Whee! Alright, time for another very cliche Sonic knockoff. Well, like the fifth time this has appeared in the game, or in a Sonic game, the Sonic 2 Pinball Carnival Casino Night Zone level. We've never seen this before. It's like, I swear, they can't even, like, they couldn't even just make a different pinball board. Like, they really had to copy it part for part. Like, this was it. Like, they couldn't just be, like, make it blue even. Like, I mean, like, really, like, how hard is this? Like, I'm all good with, like, a Sonic pinball level, but, like, let's like, try something different. Like, there's, like, millions of pinball machines out there. Like, they don't all have the same look to them. I'm complaining about pinball ripoffs right now. It's like they do it again in Sonic Forces, too, with the pinball level. Like, it looks almost exactly like the Casino Night one. It's like, you guys really can't, in 30 years, you can't think of a second pinball table design. Like, I don't get it. Or do they really think we love it that much? And I do love Sonic 2, but they think we love it that much. It's like, we just want to play this forever. But worse, because the physics are not that good. Like, I'm sorry, you couldn't think of a second pinball table in all that time. Like, come on. How the hell does that even happen? I actually thought that level was longer before. I thought there was a second pinball part. I guess not. Maybe it was in my mind. A little Mandela effect there. Now, to be fair, Act 4 is one of my favorite levels in the game. There's a few reasons for that, and they actually involve nostalgia. Because, believe it or not, I don't mind when Sega recycles, like, nostalgic things, or they do nostalgic things. Sonic Spinball, hey yo. Yeah, no, Sonic Spinball, they came up with different ideas, but this level to me has a good mix of 2D and 3D, but what we're going to see here is the return of a couple, like, familiar enemies and just different concepts from older games that I think work very well. And again, it's not the perfect level, but I think it's actually one of the better designed levels in this game. And it's actually a Frozen Factory, which is what the level's called. Not whatever that pool thing was, the casino level. Well, actually, technically, that's another enemy from Scrap Brain right there. The 2D parts are definitely weaker, but I mean, the whole level's pretty decent, but there's the sliding penguin guy. That's one guy I wanted to get to here. I always love the old slidey penguin guys from Sonic 3. I think they look really cool here, and they actually serve a purpose, because they're good obstacles in a level like this.
And the white gloves are ridiculously red.
But then you go to this, like, this 3D path here where you do, like, kind of sliding around and stuff. I think this is pretty cool, too. You got the penguin guys coming at you. Like, I'll give the game credit when it kind of reinvents a concept in a different way. Like, this is not a ripoff of Ice Cap Zone, but it's got, you know, sort of that feel, and you got the little half pipes, and I don't know. I like stuff like this. I'm okay with this. Like, I don't need, you know, I'm okay with them borrowing some elements here. It's not, you know, an easy challenge, but it's, you know, just do what you do. To me, this is how Sonic could work in 3D. I mean, again, you have to mix it up a little bit more. And this part here, believe it or not, I like, even though it's, to me, it's got elements of, like, Sonic Chemical Plant. It's got, what do you call it, Metropolis Zone, but it's not, like, in your face, you know? Like, you're just in an underground factory that happens to have some of these elements. To me, I actually give it some credit for thinking of some new ideas here. You got to be careful of these crushers. There's also a couple Metropolis Zone elements here as well. These guys here are enemies from Oil Ocean Zone, believe it or not. So I like deep cuts like that. Like, I'm not against that. Because that's the kind of thing where, like, non-Sonic fans probably aren't going to notice, but Sonic fans like me are going to be like, oh, cool, they brought back the enemies from Oil Ocean. Like, to me, that's a cool little touch that they didn't have to do. That's when nostalgia feels decent. Not just copying and pasting the pinball board from, like, 20 games ago. So I've always really enjoyed this level. It's got a lot of 3D parts, 2D parts. Again, the 3D parts are not the most original thing. You're just sliding down these hills, trying to avoid these boulders and the spikes and all that. Is that a boulder? That's a nice boulder. It's not a nice boulder when it's hitting your face, though. Watch out, spikes. And now we get to another reference. The, whatever you call these things, the nuts and bolts from Metropolis Zone. I think these were actually implemented pretty well for this setting. Because it's not in your face. It's not like a whole level of them. It's not like, look, we remade Metropolis Zone. But you can see, like, kind of the green metal. You can see the way they designed it. Obviously, they were referencing Metropolis Zone, but they weren't doing it in a way where it's like, look, it's Metropolis Zone. Like, it's actually, to me, one of the more clever references in the game without being in your face. And I'm okay with that. I would be fine with gimmicks like that returning. Sonic Mania had that a few times where, you know, like the little spinning cylinder from Launch Base Zone would return for a moment or two. Like, that's okay. I'm not against, you know, bringing back some old gimmicks. But, like, to me, that fit. That fit the level. It wasn't just in there to be in there. And it wasn't long either, where it was like the whole level was that. So to me, this is actually a really cool level that uses original ideas in some, you know, reuses some other ones, but in creative ways. I liked it. And yeah, it's not a masterpiece, but to me, that should be the starting point. That should be where we want to go here and go from there. But unfortunately, moments like that are not, they don't happen often enough. But when they happen, it is cool as a longtime Sonic fan. 'Cause when you play a game, whether it's Sonic or Mario or Crash or whatever, you do want to be reminded that, yeah, this is a Sonic game. Like, yes, it is a Mario game. Like, you know, that's why Mario games will reuse things like Bowser's Castle and stuff like that. And I'm dead. But, like, you know, I'm okay with that kind of stuff because that's in the DNA of the franchise. What I don't want to see is the first level from every Sonic game be the first level from every Sonic game. Like, that to me is just stupid. But, yeah, I have no problem with, like, little references like that and, you know, having, like, the ice enemies be the penguins from Sonic 3. Like, it would make sense that Robotnik would still have those as enemies. Like, it creates a continuity. He could still make new enemies, but it makes sense that the old ones would still be there. Maybe upgraded or something. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with there being some Metropolis framework underneath a level because it's a factory level and because, like, you know, why not? The nuts and bolts work as a gimmick there. So put them in. But I just don't want a whole level of remade Metropolis Zone. And if you die, you just end up on Green Hill Zone. Right, that's where I get annoyed. It's just like, okay, cool. It's Green Hill Zone again. I mean, and granted, yes, this game does steal that tile set a lot. Because even the ice level just does like a blue version of Green Hill Zone, I think. I don't know. But I'll give it to it. I mean, to me, it's a good balance. Whether it was intentional or not, I don't know. Maybe Sega was just so dumb they forgot their own game. And they're like, hey, let's do this thing with the screw on it. And, like, actually, this is another fun level. Let's do that thing with the screw on it and just, like, call it a day. You mean Metropolis Zone? What? Anyway. Oh, what if I die and just end up on Green Hill Zone? Well, that would be very inconvenient. This is a fun level, too, actually. A lot of alternate pathways here. Also, the music, believe it or not, reminds me of SA2 of all things. It almost feels like a Rouge level with the music. Not the level, but... No! I really am dead. Uh-oh. No! Really am dead again. What if I go, like, all the way over here? Yeah, I can see that too. I don't know, for some reason it reminds me of Rouge, though. It's like kind of this smooth jazz type of thing. Actually, Silent Forest is one of the few levels I think that sticks to its theme for the majority of it. I think there's maybe one level that veers off it, but I think every level in here is more of a forest level. The last one, maybe not as much, but... This part actually reminds me, level design-wise, of like a Crash Bandicoot level. Not this part so much, but the part with the lily pad, which I actually usually try to skip if I can. Actually, that is something about this game. For the most part, there's a part of a level you don't like, you can kind of skip it. You might just have to do another annoying part, but like, there's usually 2 or 3 paths through the same area. So right there, I completely went around that lily pad part, which is kind of okay, but I'll take my chances with the spike ball trail there at that point. I mean, the game can be a little repetitive, but sometimes that's by choice. Sometimes it's because you always take the path with the same stuff on it. It's like you want a different kind of challenge, go find it, but maybe I don't. Maybe I just want to keep doing this challenge again and again. Or maybe I don't, I really don't know. More right now. lot of alligators. It really was. Well, it was also shorter than I thought, but that could also be because I took a quicker path through it. I don't know. The next level, if I remember correctly, uses one of the more annoying gimmicks in the game. Fortunately, it seems like this game goes like 3 or 4 levels of like pretty decent, and then you get to like a level or 2 where you're like, oh, really? It's not enough to ruin the game, but there are times where I'm like, this kind of kills momentum a little bit. So I believe Act 2, which we're going to try right now. I believe Act 2 has this kind of gimmick of, well, it's called Silent Forest, so it technically still fits with the theme, where you're trying to be like really stealthy, and if you get caught by something, it's like an instant death. I could be wrong on that. Also, they brought back the dragonflies from Sonic and Knuckles, which I thought was kind of cool. Again, not against them bringing things back. I mean, it's kind of a nice little reference.
Finish Sonic, maybe they won't. Does it really matter in the cosmic scheme of things? We're all gonna die eventually.
Oh yeah, the depressing enemy is the main boss of this level. That was close. That was close. Damn it. I don't know how to stay on this upper path, but that ain't it. Yep, this is the gimmick. The only reason this gimmick is annoying is because you have to like take your eyes off the screen to hit these little touchscreen things that show up. You can't. I can't even show them on the stream right now. Metal Sonic is not in this game. But yeah, all these little music notes. Okay, you can't see them on the screen, but you have to physically touch them. That's how you move, and I don't really get this gimmick at all. And then you just have to kind of wait for it to wear off. Easily my least favorite Wisp in the game. It's one of the few times you have to use the Wisp, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. It could have just had you make those jumps without doing that, but whatever, I guess. And then again, I'm trying to remember if here you have to. I think you have to here as well. Although there are 10 ring boxes down there, which makes me think I could have just done that without doing that, but whatever, I guess. Yeah, Metal Sonic from a, like, canon standpoint has stagnated since Sonic Heroes. Like, he's in Forces as, like, a cameo, but it's not even really him. And he's, like, you know, around as, like, you know, he makes a couple little guest star appearances in other games, but in terms of, like, an actual canon villain, not since Sonic Heroes. Which I'm not saying he needs to be in every game, and yeah, he was in Mania as well, but I feel like that was, like, kind of a time travel deal, so I don't know if I count that either. Hold on. Where does this take me? Okay, if this takes me to a different path, let's do it. Oh, maybe this was not the path I wanted. Okay, this is where the stealth begins. See, at this point, I'm just going to stay here. I had plenty of time to move, but never mind. Oh shit! Ah, I didn't even see that thing get me. Yeah, that's instant death. And then those weird one-eyed bat things that you never see again in any other game show up. It's like, bitch, how am I supposed to get my music wisp? And also, if this thing can one-hit kill Sonic, why don't they just use this the whole game? Like, why is it only in this level? Bitch, really? Well, at least I didn't die that way. At least I didn't die by getting caught. I died some other freaking way. I kind of do like the boss fight at the end of this level, though, which, again, makes me wonder if I could just fight this thing as a boss, why don't I just do that instead of avoiding it the whole time? I guess I can't do that. God damn it. It's like this, it's like Italian-sounding dramatic tone to it, too. Good thing these giant owls don't wake up. At this point, I'm just waiting for the freaking eyes to go down on this thing. Woo!
Just give up, Sonic. It's
Really
what
not
I
giving up.
do. As a matter of fact, I've already pretty much given up on hope, happiness,
Alright.
success. Now to think of it, what am I still doing here? I should just fall back.
No! Yeah, I mean, at least I was at a checkpoint, and there's really not much else to do there, so I'm not that upset about that. More annoying stealth mission right now.
Just give up, Sonic.
I really am
It's
not
what
giving
I
up.
do.
I mean, I know,
As a
because
matter
you're
of
the
fact, I've
generic
already
depressed
pretty much
character.
given up on hope, happiness, success. Come to think of it, what am I still doing here?
I don't know, but you're
Fall back
annoying me.
into bed.
I love this depressed owl! It's actually not the owl, it's like, yeah, it's this guy, like, inside the owl.
To fight.
And now, after all this, you just fight the boss anyway, so there's really no point to even, like, doing all that. Ow. Thought I was supposed to hit those bombs in them. Fuck if I know. It's not me hitting it in there. Dude, what the fuck? Alright, time to just run into it and get exploded anyway. Alright, fine. Alright, I guess that doesn't work. Sometimes you can homing attack. I think you're supposed to kick it. Which, again... I thought I liked this boss fight, maybe not. There we go. Oh no, another one! And a third one, oh boy. Whatever shall I do?
You could fight harder, but why bother? We're all doomed
Dead.
anyway.
No, not really, because he comes back in Act 4, I believe, which... Act 4 is actually one of the longer levels in the game. Not an easy level, either. We'll see how difficult it is momentarily. You know. I do enjoy. I love this depressed owl, though. I don't know why that was funny to me. Oh, we still gotta do Act 3, which I don't think that's that long of a level. We'll see how long of a level it is right now. Apparently about 3 minutes long if we count my best time, which was 2:54. Are they actually basically, yeah. There's that guy. I don't even remember his name. The first guy's just like this punk guy. The girl that's always disgusted with you. The fat guy. The depressed guy is probably the most memorable. Then there's Zavok, who's like the angry leader guy, like the Red Ranger, if you will. None of them ever come back, and you can see why. And then spoilers, Robotnik ends up being like the final enemy anyway, so... Really, why did they even bother doing this? That can be debated. This level's actually pretty decent. It's similar to one earlier in the game, but instead we're in like an icy tunnel, so it's like, why didn't they just do this in the ice level? I don't know. But I digress. Like Legends of the Hidden Temple under here. Whoa, watch out. Bullets. They look devastating. No idea where I'm going. Maybe I'm supposed to go back this way. Or not. Hold on. Dead. Dead. Alright, guess that's all I had to do. Ooh, they brought back the old final boss from Sonic 3, sort of. Oh no, I got hit by it, sort of. Ciao. No! Whoa, whoa! Ah, damn it, I was hoping that would be a new red ring, but this one I already had. So never mind on that one. Hey, yo. Ciao. No! I am dead again. I'm never gonna be alive. Could just grab this laser wisp. That really all that did? Alright, that's all that did. Caterkillers. Watch out, lasers. Watch out, don't go that way. Alright, go that way. No! I guess I should have mentioned don't go that way either. Alright, fuck that. Alright. What about... Whoa, watch out. Hey, a red ring! Oh no, I'm dead! Alright, well, at least you know what the red ring was. Too bad I'm dead. Let's try that again, shall we? Now that we know where it is. No, that did not make a whole ton of sense. God damn it, no! Alright, fine, forget it. I'm gonna go the other way. I think it just goes... Yeah, I think it all goes to the same place. Actually... No, it's the same place. And the same death. Any Sonic character... that's bizarre. I guess Amy? I don't know. Yo. Oh, no, God, okay. Alright, oh, no, still alive. Still alive, we're good, 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 we're good. Okay, that's not good. No! Alright, fuck it. Use the laser wisp to skip the 10 feet or whatever. Or just go backwards. Oh no! I guess Amy? I don't know. There aren't that many characters Even in general, none of their personalities are all that fleshed out, so... Okay, here we go. Say, it should just be like a few homing attacks in a row there. Oh, I guess I do have to hit this in order to... So... Okay, alright. Okay, it's enough of that. Enemy. Enemy. Another enemy. Another enemy. Watch out, icicles. Whew. And mercifully, this level comes to an end. What a mercy ending it was, eventually. Whew. Alright, Silent Forest Zone 4. This is one of the longest levels in the game, and it is a tricky one. At least I used to think so. Oh, this definitely sounds like Donkey Kong music. It even has the Donkey Kong, it doesn't have it yet, but there's going to be a part where it uses a Donkey Kong level gimmick. Or, well, Donkey Kong Country gimmick. We'll see what it is momentarily. I think I can actually sneak through here, right? Yep.
He's so upbeat, I want to beat him up. It won't make me happy, but to be fair, nothing makes me happy.
Whoa. Whoa. Really distinct. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, there's a lot of references in this level, actually, to other games. This part's actually kind of cool. I like that. This is probably the best game for the Drill Wisp. They actually thought of some pretty cool ways to use it, like creatively. I mean, but like the game will have like a couple creative ideas, and then it will like lean heavily on like a Mario or Donkey Kong idea. I mean, not that those are bad games to pick from, but it's like why those in particular? Like this to me feels like a distinctly Sonic idea to go around the circle, try to hit this glowing robot, but then the level around it is like a Crash Bandicoot temple with Donkey Kong music and Mario enemies. Like it's like, all right, so you guys could think of something, but you just weren't sure here. I was waiting for that to happen. They never remind. Oh, here we go. This is the part that reminds me. Although you can't turn the lights back on, but otherwise it reminds me of the Donkey Kong Country levels where it was just shadows. Which generally, it honestly is not that much of a disadvantage to play in the shadows here. Like, I mean, we'll see in a second, but. Maybe it kind of is, because I can't see what I'm supposed to hit back at these guys. I'm just going to power through it here.
suppose I should care that Sonic's heading my way to hand me a beating. If caring would cut into my sulking time.
That part's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ciao. Yeah, but I wonder why they never remade Conga or Jungle Beat for Switch. Yeah, you could. Whoa.
Smiling hurts my face. When I heard
I always think I'm done with this level, and this is this part, which
so in the
should
end,
not be that hard, except I think you have to defeat all the enemies to advance, and like 2 of them have those shields on them. Actually, I got lucky that time. Maybe, I don't even know if you had to defeat them both. But they just block your way if nothing else. Alright, here we go. This is the end of the level here.
another pointless conflict is about to begin.
But then with the shadow, yeah, with the lights going out, it's hard to tell which one's which. Now, what motion he's doing here, I have no effing idea, but it is kind of fun to knock him around a little bit. Oh, no, he's dead. All right, well, that was 10 seconds of a boss fight. And that was something, right? Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Alright, well, that is going to do it for me, everybody, here. Not just for today, but for the month of February 2026. It's been a pleasure streaming with you guys. We had the return of Retromania, like, about a couple weeks ago. And plenty of fun racing games, new games, old games, you name it, we played it. Today we took a brief look back at Sonic Lost World and the Nintendo Wii U. Soy Boy Bobby, I don't know what that means. Thank you for stream today. I really did have a stream today, and what a stream it was to close out the month of February. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Of course, we will see you all next month, which is obviously coming right up. But thank you all so much for watching today, and as always, stay chaotic. Blur out.
Chaos.